Hi, this is Love from Tits and Giggles podcast. I love using Anchor because it's easy to operate and I can just pick up the phone and speak my mind whenever I want. I love the podcast availability because I can get it out to multiple platforms at the same time without having to go. It automatically generates your RSS feed and you get it out to your listeners. And I love the background music and all the sound effects. Loving Anchor so much. You should try it for yours. This is Love again with Tits and Giggles podcast. What's up, Tits and Giggles? And I'm doing that little voice and singing because I don't know if you guys know of R&B singer Jazmine Sullivan, but she always does these really cool, funny surveys on her page, normally when she has an album release. And so the trend was, and the question was, the worst date you've ever been on. And I'll start by mine. Let me see. What is the worst date I've ever been on? I'll definitely have to say that I went on a date with a guy that I worked with, so I felt I kind of knew him, and he took me to the movies. It was July, which I knew was sketch because he brought a coat, which is normal because the movies is cold, but he brought a leather coat, it's July. And so, of course, when we got in the movies, he immediately put the coat over my lap, which it was weird, but I was like, maybe he's trying to be romantic or I don't know. But then he put my hand on his private area, which he had out. And yeah, so needless to say, that was our last date. It was very repulsive. He's done this before. That definitely tops my worst date just because it was just the whole thing. It was like our first date. We went from professionally kind of knowing each other to I just don't even, yeah. Other than that, what else? I know a guy was coming to take me on a date and he ran out of gas. Needless to say, I didn't go on that date because you can't even, and I get people have problems or whatever, but a man, anybody running out of gas is but a man doing it is just double red flag for me because men are supposed to know cars. So, yeah, I'm traditional in that fact. What else? I've had some dates where I had to leave. I definitely got catfished once on a dating site where the guy he only showed half of his face in the profile, which I didn't think nothing of it. I thought he was being artistic or something like that. And so when he got there, I realized he had a glass eye, which is whatever, but the fact that he catfished me. So I left the date. I did I have to go to the restroom. And you guys might think that's harsh, but if you've ever been a woman dating, you'll know that guys ask you for videos, pictures, all this stuff. And so I sent I am who I am, because it's in my mind, in my opinion, I feel like women have to show more that we are real versus the man is take me as I am. So with all the effort I put towards showing who I am and I'm really who I am in real life, and then I get there and you're catfished, I'm going to leave you. So, yeah, it's kind of mean, but on the same token, it's I went and had a good time. And it was another movie, and I just didn't want to sit close to him. I've had a date where the guy wore a jersey, and another movie, I really am glad I'm married, because movie dates for first dates, ladies, terrible idea. One, you can't really talk. Two, if you don't not feeling the person, being close to them, but anyway, this guy, another summer date. He had for some reason, well, he's single in the summer, hot girl summer, huh? But this guy, he had on a basketball jersey and he had his armpits out, which is whatever. But when we got in the theater, he put his arm around me and he had a ton of hair under his arms. And it was just like, blech. And also, like, when the date was over, my shoulder smelled like his armpit. So, yeah. Ugh. So, needless to say, never went out with him again. So, dating is crazy, but nothing is crazier than these Jazmine Sullivan stories of these people that the worst date they've been on. I've been reading it, so I thought I would share them. And if of those of you that don't know Jazmine Sullivan, she's an awesome singer. Check out some of her music. Anyway, this girl says, me looking at the man in my BF's messages on these dating apps, and so Jazmine saying she's looking at the men in her boyfriend's messages on these dating apps, and her best friend. Let me get the terminology right. So she's looking at her best friend's dating apps and she just wants to know what's the worst date that you guys have been on. So here we go. So the man was 32 years old and told her that he sleeps on the top bunk bed that he built. Yeah, that's somebody that you wouldn't even want to go on a date with, but I guess you in there and it's like, yeah, we're never going out again. Another one, on the way into the restaurant, they saw his screensaver was a pic of him and a chick that she knew kissing. I mean, it's a date, so I mean, it's terrible that he still has a screensaver. I mean, I would probably ask him like, yo, are you single? But yeah, I don't know if that's a deal breaker. Maybe he forgot he has it as a screensaver. Who knows? Never know. That's why you gotta ask all the right questions. Here's another one. I paid for my food and he brought someone else. Oh, wow. Wow. Very interesting. And yeah, that would get you cussed out and another date. Not another date. And here's another one. He said he didn't believe in reading because there was too much of the world to see. Oh my gosh. He was either high or he really thinks he's a deep thinker, or I don't know. Some people don't like to read. I don't know. I mean, you can read a lot into that one. I mean, now if he said he didn't know how to read, that's another story. But some people don't like to read. I mean, I don't know if that's a terrible deal breaker or I would consider a worse date. But so this girl says that this guy, he says his ex-girlfriend had a drone to spy on their date and he saw it. So yeah. Whoa, that's dangerous. If you know your ex-girlfriend's that dangerous, I'm like, how did your ex-girlfriend know you were going on a date? I have a lot of questions about that one. He got arrested. We got pulled over and he had 2 guns, the one in the trunk on the very first date. Wow. Triple OG gangsta. Yeah, you getting arrested on the first date, pretty terrible. This one says they were headed to Netflix and chill only to find out that the door that they had already smashed the roommate. Oh, ooh. I mean, you know what? I don't know. I mean, the world is small. Like, what town are y'all from? Like, I mean, it could be hairy, it could get sketchy, but yeah. I mean, yeah. Very interesting. I still wouldn't call that a worst date, though, because that kind of stuff, is coincidental. It can happen. Okay, here's another one. Had sex on the first date, got pregnant. Now he moved into her basement. Huh? It's nothing worse than getting pregnant on the first date. This is a warning. If you're going to have like a first date sex, you probably want to use protection, because now you stuck with a baby and a man in your basement. And why you let him move in your basement, have no clue. But yeah, I wouldn't call the baby a worst date, but because you kind of made that decision to have sex on the first date. But him letting him move in, that's going to be your worst nightmare. There's another one. Went on a date with a white man who was shocked to learn that I actually knew my father. Oh, wow. See, that's the thing about interracial dating. Like, make sure the man is like, doesn't, and don't get me wrong, like some people, cultures, you have to like educate them. I think that's definitely something you need to, some people really believe in the stereotypes that they hear. So I don't know if I call that still worst day, but if you check him and he's like, apologizes profusely, or if he's like, lady, you're crazy, I'm just blah, 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 So I don't know. But yeah, this guy definitely believes in some stereotypes. I don't know. You guys would definitely need to find out where your beliefs lie. But yeah, interesting. Here's another one. He showed up with a wig cap on, talked about his white baby mama for an hour. Wow. So he had a stocking cap on his head. The fact that you sat there with him for an hour and talked, I question your judgment, unless he was paying. And even still, I question your judgment. Here's another one. Went to Chuck E. Cheese for his kid with his baby mama, and she had to pretend to be the homie. Okay, why? All these things are nothing that you were made to do, so why? Here's another one. He let off the brake while I was walking by and hit me. Oh my gosh. He hit her while she was crossing the street. That's terrible. Maybe he was so mesmerized by her curves or maybe he was trying to get out of there, but yeah. Oh my gosh. Here's another one by a man. Brought her daughter, wanted me to feed her and drop her off at her baby daddy house. Women are a package deal. Or when you date women with kids, they're a package deal versus same with men. I don't know if that's the worst date, but you probably shouldn't bring your child on your first date, because I don't believe in bringing strangers around your kids unless you're going to be serious. But I don't know if it's the worst date, but she does have some judgment. Here's another one. The man stole $50 out of my purse to pay for our drinks and helped me look for it too. Wow. The one thing I hate, deal breaker for me, thieves. I don't like thieves, and I don't like liars. But this guy, he's got both. Yeah, that would be terrible. Okay, here's another one. After the date, he asked if I wanted to get something to drink. I said yes, and he replied he didn't. Okay. I wouldn't consider that the worst date, but the guy's clearly, I don't know what he had going on. Here's another one. He spent $2,000 on me, had sex with me, told me he loved me, then never texted me back. Wow. Is that a worst date? You got a lot of benefits. But you should have already thought it was a little crazy that somebody told you they loved you on the first date, gave you $2,000, and you had sex with them and they never text you back. It might just be his thing. Maybe he wants to feel passion. He's like the Tinder swindler, you know. He's got, you know, other women to see. I mean, hey, keep the $2,000 and move on, you know. Here's another one. He asked me to take him to drop off his job application first. Then he got locked up on the way there. Now, this is bad. My man. I mean, you know, this is all the way bad. But the fact that you did all that, once again, I question some of y'all judgment. Like, no. Here's another one. Bodybuilder dude made me eat alone and said he only drinks 1 gallon of milk for most meals. Wow. I'm not, now I can definitely tell you, I'm not into dating fitness trainers or bodybuilders. I like people that take care of their body, but those people that are like completely obsessed with fat count. I mean, if you're doing a competition or something, fine, you know, like, first of all, I would never date these people to start off with, but like, if my husband says like, I want to get in shape, I want to, you know, I'll support him, even though I hate that stuff. I hate when people like, I mean, I believe in taking care of your health, and yes, you should be able to achieve goals, but I don't like prolonged periods of obsessing about physical appearance because it's so shallow to me, and it's just, I don't know. And I would never date someone that is that obsessed to where they can't eat. It's like, even though, yeah, I can go on and on about that topic, but no. Here's another one. Went to the movies and a whole box of condoms fell out of his pocket. I mean, that's not the worst date. And maybe he thought that you was gonna give him some, but I don't think that's the worst date. I mean, he had high hopes. He was a planner, you know. I didn't see nothing wrong with that one. So yeah, these are just some of the ladies that have had some so-called worst dates ever. What about you guys? Did you guys feel like any of those were worst dates? What are your worst dates? Do you even like dating? Dating to me is, I only really ever went for the free food. I hate dating, honestly, because you have to have like the energy to get to know somebody, and you know, it's just a whole thing, and that's why I'm married. But yeah, tits and giggles, this is a fun little thing. I always, like I said, I get a kick out of these little stories that people tell, because there are some crazy ones. So be careful out there. Don't have sex on the first date unprotected. And yeah, if someone is like getting arrested on the first date, definitely not a good thing. Yeah. Well, you guys stay safe. Take care. Tits and giggles signing off.